Hi, everybody, and welcome back. My name's Melissa, and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. Today's tip is to get rid of your storage unit. I live in a 400 square foot home. It is tiny. It is me and my teenage kid in 400 square feet. So, not a ton of space. I do not have a garage. I do have a small shed that has like the lawnmower and my tools and stuff. And I had tried to start a resale business. And I mean, it was going okay, I guess. And in order to do that, I got a storage unit. And before you know it, stuff started accumulating. It was just like everything there. And then I got to the point where by the time you calculated the gas to drive to the storage unit and the cost of the storage unit, I mean, I was pretty much breaking even. It had been like, I don't know, 15-ish months. It was a headache. It just wasn't worth it. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'll sell what I can, donate what I can, just get rid of the storage unit because it's not worth the they raised it again. I hate how storage units, so I'd gotten it and then 3 months in the price went up and then like 9 months in the price went up again and they just like kept raising it and raising it. So they're not affordable. If the stuff's in there, do you still need it? I mean, I know people. My neighbor. Now my neighbor is a single old guy who, okay, he's an old guy. They've accumulated a lot of stuff. Who has a 1,800 square foot home, and not one, not two, not three, but four storage units that he has for his stuff, and he does garage sales and stuff. But do you know how much? I mean, that's like $400 a month at least. That's $4,800 a year. I do not think that in the two neighborhood garage sales and the one citywide garage sale that he participates in, I don't think he is making $4,800. I know he isn't. But he still has those storage units. And I mean, that's a huge expense. So sometimes, instead of trying to sell it, I mean, sometimes it's worth it to just give it away because you're then not paying to store it. And chances are you don't need it. And there's lots of things you can do if you're crowded. If you have a lot of stuff that your kids made, and there's some stuff you want to keep, obviously, like the ornaments and some of that 3D stuff. Some of it, yeah. I kept everything that my kid put his handprint on. But a lot of the stuff I took pictures and keep it on a thumb drive. And if I want to, I can go back and look at it. But I don't have the like stacks. I mean, for Christ's sake, it would be like 4 or 5 boxes of stuff if I had saved everything that child made. And I had one kid. Imagine if you had two, three, four, five, or six. Um, that's a lot of stuff. So, that's a solution. And then some people are like, oh, well, it's a family heirloom. But are you using it really? I mean, are you appreciating it? What about this family heirloom is so important if you have it stuffed in the back of a storage unit somewhere? And storage units are becoming like this huge, like, billion, $1 trillion industry. And they're just popping up all over the place because we all have, we all have too much stuff. And we don't need it. And I mean, everything I've told you, get rid of the social media apps and get rid of the shopping apps because everybody's like, buy, buy, buy. You need this. You need this. You don't need anything. There is a good chance that whatever you think you need, you probably don't. Um, in my experience, most people don't need what they think they need. They, and I mean, I've done it. I'm guilty of it. I was so sure that my passion was the pouring arts. I really love fluid painting. I painted a few things and I did some resin. I loved it. I even sold some. So I went out and I got like 50 things of Liquitex paint. I got all these canvases. I got the pouring medium. I got the resin. I got all the stuff to use to pour it, the cups and stuff to mix. And suddenly one day, I just decided I didn't want to do it anymore. So I waited to get interested in it again. I waited like 2 years in. I'm like, you know what? Obviously, this is no longer my thing. I sold the paint, most of it. But if you had asked me in 2021, I would have been like, oh, yes, that is my thing. I love pouring arts. I want to teach pouring arts. I am going to start a business where I go and do, sip and paints and do pouring arts. I had it all set. I had it figured out. I had found all the supplies. And then I was ready to order. And then all it took was I could not order the one thing. It was, they had all like supply chain issues. And one of the things that I needed to go to the next step was no longer available. And I searched and searched and searched for other alternatives, and it just was not there. So I just quit at some point. I was just like, whatever. But I have old hobbies that I gave up. I have stuff that I have had to get rid of through the years. But the thing is that once you get rid of it, it's refreshing. So once you get rid of that storage unit, once you clean it out and you see all the stuff that you really did love and you do decide to incorporate into your home, and all the stuff that you don't need anymore, and you have one less bill and everything else, you will feel so much lighter, because half the time, there's a statement in minimalism, and I find this to be very true. Frequently, you don't own your stuff, it owns you, because you spend your life cleaning it and caring for it and everything. So today's tip for frugal living is get rid of the storage unit. You can save yourself over $1,000 a year. Anyways, again, my name's Melissa. This year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. If you want to hear more, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.